All right, welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS, our weekly special with Joe Fresta coming up, the Pasta House in the house. But right now, UMSL's in the house. Their athletic director, Dr. Sheilley, and Terry Freerks, and we're going to talk about the Tritons Athletics Fund. Now, this is something new. I mean, we've had really good sports at UMSL for a long time, so why come up with this idea?
Well, I think the major motivation is to engage UMSL Nation and the greater St. Louis community so that we can showcase our outstanding athletes and our outstanding programming. But in order to do that, of course, we need funding. So we want to provide support, not only if you show up and participate and cheer for them, that's very valuable, but if you become a member, then all those funds go directly to the athletes. We want to have sustainable opportunity.
What type of response have you gotten? We're really early in the game, but I think it's going really well, correct?
Yeah, we've gotten people already signing up to be members. There's different levels starting at $100 on up. And with that membership, you get potential for home season tickets. You get coaches circles, AD receptions. And as Terry said, I mean, athletics, and you mentioned, Frank, athletics at UMSL has been strong for a very long time. It continues that trajectory. You know, we're getting 6 to 7 teams a year making the NCAA tournament and continue to really excel both in the classroom and on the field, court, course, pool. And we want to continue to build that transformational experience for our student athletes and experience.
Including right out of the gate this fall, your women's soccer team and your women's volleyball team have been out of sight.
Right, yeah. Women's soccer, who is currently 12-3-2, won our first regular season championship in school history. We won our first conference championship last year, have quarterfinals this Sunday, noon against Missouri S&T. Women's volleyball and women's soccer is ranked number 2 regionally. So we are really hoping they continue their excellence and we get to host the NCAA. And women's volleyball is currently undefeated in the conference. We have 2 more weekends of that, and then they'll start their conference tournament. So things are going really well.
Yeah. So, Terry, why are you involved? In fact, for our audience, you were a nationally ranked swimmer as a youth. You swam at Arizona State, a big-time program. Why is UMSL so important to you?
Well, first of all, I'm a proud UMSL alum. In terms of my athletic career, I went to Arizona State. I swam there for 2 years, but because of financial strains on the family, I had to leave there and come back to St. Louis. And I chose to go to UMSL and had an outstanding experience academically. Unfortunately, there was no women's swimming at UMSL at that time. But I had to go to work, so it launched my coaching career. And I'm a longtime coach in St. Louis with the Clayton Shaw Park swim team.
How many years there?
Well, total just shy of 50.
Wow. So basically, anybody who was talented in swimming, at least when I was growing up, always ended up at Shaw Park because of you and your great coaches.
Well, I certainly like to think so. But it's a wonderful swimming town. There's a lot of good teams and good competition.
You know, I think a lot of people would be surprised when they walk into the Mark Twain Fieldhouse that there's a pool there. You know, I mean, because you immediately go into the gym, and right to the right is this wonderful pool. I spent my life in that gym, and sometimes I forgot we had a pool 12 steps away.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And our swim team is another great mark on a fabulous team. Young lady we have on that team, Justice Beard, she had numerous she went to the national championship last year with a relay team. I would expect her to do really well this year. It would not be unheard of that she comes back as a national champion.
Wow. So if somebody how many UMSL grads do we have? I should know this in the area roughly.
120,000 plus.
Wow.
And in the area, we're probably in the vicinity of 80,000.
Wow.
So it's huge.
So I'm sure we have a nice percentage of them listening to this program right now. If they hear about this new Tritons Athletic Fund, how can they get involved?
Yeah, so first thing I would say, if you're not following us on our UMSL Tritons Athletic page, website, go to that. I mean, you can watch us on live stream. You can get all the stories and stats about the student athletes. You go right there, you'll see the page that says donate. It'll drop down to the Triton Athletic Club, and you can go right there and become a member.
A little off topic, but I want to get your take on this, Terry, is that we're in this time period where these college tuitions are insane, and kids that go to college are going to be paying bills until they're 40 years old. That's like one of the great selling points of UMSL is that education, and you're not nailed with, astronomical tuition cost.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think we're Division II at UMSL, and I think it's a very pure environment to pursue athletics while you're studying and matriculating. It's accessible, it's affordable, and we are very focused on career development. And that, in turn, gives us, our athletes, a lot of social mobility. They may come in at a certain status, they get a great education in and out of the pool, and then they go out and then they make a great life for themselves. The other thing that I really like is the fact that so many of our students stay here, and the student athletes are no different. So if you support our student athletes, you're supporting the community.
What about dorms for the athletes? Coach Sunville tells me they're pretty nice nowadays. A little nicer than I lived there.
Yeah. So there is Oak Hall, which is on-campus dorm, and then we also have the Meadows, which is a third-party dorm, but right there, very near the Oak on North Campus. So options on both there for students. And student-athletes stay on campus. I mean, that would make most sense, right, to be near Mark Twain and the other athletic facilities that we have.
All right, let's talk about a special night coming for UMSL Athletics with the great Ozzie Smith involved.
Yeah, so very excited to have on January 30th, we're going to have Game On for UMSL Athletics, a night with Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith, and of course our real Hall of Famer for us, Frank Cusimano, doing a Q&A, Q&A hosted by the Triton Athletic Club. It's going to be a great dinner. We're going to have a reception, a silent auction. Tickets are going to be $200. That information will be out there right before Thanksgiving, but really excited. It's a limited ticket sales. We're going to be at the Two Hill on campus in the Lee Theater, which is a beautiful place on campus. So very excited to just talk about, not only have Ozzie and Frank with us, but to talk about Triton Athletics and where we're going with our program.
And your basketball coach on the men's side is the best in the history of UMSL, and the statistics back it up. Bob Sunville must be great going to work. His office is next door. He's never in a bad mood. He's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, he is. He is a pretty funny guy. Bob is an amazing coach. I mean, started out last year 0-5. And then went to a Sweet 16. I mean, that tells you just the depth of the coach he is. And, right now the transfer portal for him is a nightmare because he trains these guys and then D1 swoops in and offers these big deals. But he's got another fabulous team back this year. I mean, it had to start from scratch. And I'll be honest, I think they're more athletic this year than they were last year. So I'm very excited for him.
And one more time for people who want to get involved in the Triton Athletics Fund.
Yep, so go to UMSLTritons.com and then click on the link that says donate. That'll drop it down, and right there you'll see all the information about Triton Athletic Club. Can get your membership right there.
Great. We got one great text here. Played field hockey and fast-pitch softball at UMSL in the late 70s and got an incredible education, too. Good to hear. Holly, Terry, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks,
Frank.